Yeah, the Love-Ru games are pretty weird, but I played every single one of them, and it's not for the reason you think. Okay, slightly for the reason you think. A ton of licensed anime games we tend to see are fighting games or RPG games. Think Dragon Ball FighterZ or Genshin Impact. And modern games have a ton of fan service. What if the main selling point of anime games is shameless sexual fan service? Well, let me introduce you to the fan service button queen. Ecchi games, you know, the type of games that focus on sexual themes rather than, well, anything else really. While these games don't have any severe nudity or pornography in it, that's a whole nother ballpark. You still probably wouldn't want your parents walking in on you playing it. Oh, hi mom, you wanna play? Just like with ecchi games, there are ecchi anime, and one of the most popular ecchi anime out there is Love-Ru, which follows the story of Rito, who, accidentally gets engaged to a hot pink-haired alien girl, and somehow results in having every girl he knows fall in love with him as well. I don't like Rito. So, what happens when you turn Love-Ru into a variety of video games and have someone play every single one of them? Well, you get me. Hitting here above sharks. Being punished by my mom catching me playing these games. Love-Ru Trouble Waku Rinkaigakkou-Hen is a Nintendo DS game released in 2008 by Marvelous Games, who is perhaps best known for their Harvest Moon games and Motherfucking Fisheye 3D. Whoa! Looks like making a Love-Ru game wasn't the only fishy thing they did. So, what is this game? Well, it's pretty much a visual novel divided into 8 episodes, with each part having various unlockables. The main events in these episodes are the mini-games you get to play, with the mini-games being, well, this. The majority of them are pretty much your typical rhythm-based or time mini-games, in which you must do stuff to time yourself to the circle in order to clean girls with the power of playing Peck-Peck-Kun. But what if I told you there's a mini-game with no fan service, and it's actually one of the best shooter mini-games I have ever played? Yeah, in Love-Ru, there's this virtual game called Trouble Quest that Momo finishes making to test Rito to see if he really loves Lala or not. And, well, we get to play a shoot-'em up version of that game. While this game doesn't do anything too noteworthy, it is really well designed and well thought out, but it's a game you'll die to over and over and over again, as this game is surprisingly really hard, yet so addicting. Die, Electro Alpha, die! Go back to the 70s where you belong. Oh, maybe the fan service button can fix that. On this thing. So, what do you get for completing these mini games? A fist bump? A nice pat on the back? A normal thank you for being a decent person and helping someone out? Oh, a 3D motto! That's right, whenever you complete a minigame or story event, you get a motto, which you can take a look at them in the extras menu. Ooh, this is so cool. Boy! I do not wish for the boing. Only the bane. Well, it's not just figurines with questionable physics that you can unlock, but also costumes and character models you can use as well to put your main girl on the title screen. That's right, ever wanted to see Haruna in Lala's debut costume? Now you can! Other than that, that's pretty much all this game offers, and while it's Japanese exclusive, you can play the full game despite the language barrier. Though, even if you could read the story, no amount of story can logically explain this. Oh hi Timmy the Taco, what is it? Ooh, awesome! Boop! Huh? Nothing happened.
Andy the Apple here from Vegan News. According to a recent study by Home Depot, Eric Does Everything has been voted sexiest man alive by women.
Yeah!
My babies!
Well, that's gonna be a problem. And what better way to deal with problems than Love-Ru Trouble Doki Rinkaigakkou-Hen. It's another Love-Ru game that came out in 2008 by Marvelous Games, but it's on the PSP this time, and thank goodness this game doesn't have any questionable minigame. Instead of this game being half a visual novel and half a gimmick DS minigame based game, this game goes all out on a visual novel aspect with 1 or 2 minigames total. The visual novel segments from the last game were really limited and you couldn't really make any choices. However, not only does this game allow you to make various choices throughout the game, but allows you to get different endings as well. That's right, like Lala, choose the Lala route. Like Haruna, choose the Haruna route. Like Moon over there, What's wrong with you? Let's make her more attractive. Remote just call me gay? The story pretty much centers around Richo and his classmates going on a trip to the hot springs and beach because of course it is, which as you can guess causes for a ton of fan servicey imagery thrown at you, which, okay, fan service, yay. However, there is one thing they do in these scenes that I honestly think is pretty clever and something I wish more visual novels would do. Let me introduce you to what I dubbed the combo mode. This is a mode in which you can combine various scenes throughout the day and get new, more fan servicey scenes out of it, which shameless fan service aside, this is a freaking awesome concept. This allows you to experiment with a ton of different possibilities, and you can't just combine the two most fan servicey scenes together, otherwise you'll have to hang out with the boys the entire time. That's right, this game punishes you for being too lustful with the girls by making you hang out with the boys. If that isn't karma, I don't know what is. Another interesting concept I personally liked are the trouble scenes, in which during ecchi moments, you get to control Richo's lust by pressing the L and R buttons. If you make Richo's lust reach 100% though, he dies. The final thing worth talking about are the two mini games in this game, which admittedly are very lacking and pretty simple. Take the bonk and watermelon games for example. You have to use the L and R button to collect hearts and avoid random stop signs on the beach, then choose one of the three options to whack that person in the head. Which you know what I chose. Yeah! Wait, wholesome? What? Yeah, it's rated Sarah B. 12 and up. These games have the same rating as frickin' Super Mario Odyssey. Thankfully, the next two Love-Ru game, Love-Ru Darkness Battle Ecstasy, has a rating that makes much more sense. This game was developed for the PlayStation Vita in 2014 by Love-Ru, who's known for making a variety of Doraemon games and the Alliance Alive. This game is described by the wiki as, well, an ultra-harm action game, which makes sense due to this game being inspired by the second season of Love-Ru Darkness, which takes a more actiony, harm-like direction for the series, especially the harm genre, which essentially is a genre that has a bunch of girls oogling over one guy in a romantic way, i.e., what's happening to me right now? Huh? Oh frick, they're breaking in, no! The main premise in this game is that Richo suddenly gets transported to the strange world, and in this world, the female characters from this game have been kidnapped by aliens and been brainwashed, making us have to go to a variety of dungeons in order to save them, which brings us to the first mode of this game, the action part thingy. In this mode, you play as Richo in a 3D hack and slash like format, beating aliens in order to traverse through the level, and while it's honestly nothing too special, one of the things I personally love about this game are the various weapons you can use throughout the game. I mean, what other games allow you to use a motherfucking paintbrush, a syringe, and a frying pan in order to beat aliens? Oh, that gives me an idea. Frying pan. Hiya!
Have my baby! Have my baby! Give me more hot stuff!
What the frick? Well, it didn't work for me, but it definitely worked for Richo, as you're able to somehow stop a barrage of aliens using these weapons in order to get to the brainwashed heroines, in which you must beat them by, well, beating them up, which after that, we get to do one more thing to truly free them. Bond with them. Alright, bonding time! Oh. This is the communication part of the game, which essentially is a rhythm-based minigame in which you must touch girls in order to save them from being brainwashed. You know what? I give up trying to make sense of this. It's a necessary stupid fan service, which I guess is part of the charm in games like these for some people. But for me personally, playing unoriginal and boring minigames like these for the sake of fan service is just not really my cup of tea. Compared to the last game where the ecchi moments were used in generally creative and interesting ways that actually made sense that if you were too monstrous with finding the ecchi scenes, it would have screwed you over. The fan service in this game just feels forced and unnecessary. That being said though, I really was surprised on how much fun I had with this game still. The action parts and customization options are so much fun. Heck, I even loved the My Room part of the game, which allowed you to talk to the capture heroines to get to know them better and personally make connections with them. Not many games do that. I just wish the games would let us connect with the characters more with this, not this. Yeah, Timmy? Thanks. Oh, there's an undo button now. Boop. Phew, thank goodness. Now let's see the true power of this. Boop. It's official. This remote thinks I'm gay. I can tell you what's not gay though. The next game on our list, Red Darkness True Princess, which yet again was made by Fu on the PS Vita, but came out in 2015. And it's a visual novel this time, just like the second game we talked about. But this time it goes in, well, let's just say an interesting direction. Amizna. You see, Rito takes a weird drink from one of the girls one day, which causes him to pretty much forget all the moments he spent with the girls, which is pretty convenient for us, as this allows us to start from the beginning on what choices we make to end up with the ending you pretty much desire without having to worry about the canon ending of this anime. Which thank goodness. Because the canon ending for this anime is absolutely stupid and dumb. Yui was the best girl. It's just unfair. It's just unfair. It's unfair. It's unfair. It's unfair. It's unfair. It's unfair. It's unfair. And unfair and fair and fair. You're just drawing. The amnesia trope has been done in romance to death. Heck, another anime, Toradora, did a similar game called Toradora Portable, which literally did the same concept this game did 6 years ago. But, oh whatever, I still really enjoyed playing the variety of endings this game presented. This visual novel, while it does have the raunchy and fanservice scenes we all know and love from the Love-Ru series in the first place, getting to know the characters is the clear focus of this game and not the fanservice, which is the case for the anime as well. It's super interesting that Fu drastically changed their game plan for the series to needless annoying fan service to a game that was generally interesting for me to play despite the ecchi moments in this game. I think I made this clear throughout the video, but I'm not a fan of the ecchi fan servicey type of video games and anime. And honestly, coming into the Love-Ru games, I was kinda expecting it to be nothing but, you know, shameless fan service and all that stuff. But I was honestly genuinely surprised at how fun some of these games were. That's right, instead of saying LOL boiny boobies, I was actually enjoying the gameplay. What? That being said, if you're not a big fan of like the fanservice and harm games like I am, I encourage you to look more into ecchi anime and video games because while they are raunchy and stuff, I believe they're much more than that. That being said, I don't think I need this fanservice button anymore. Hiya!